Greetings. We see you again in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. We are those of Latwii, and we are eager to address any queries this group may have at this time.
Thank you, Latwii. A curious question I have that's come to mind. Um, why you have chosen to visit us tonight, and in terms of the other entities, how do you decide who comes aboard when there's more than one that wants to visit us? Thank you.
We are those of Latwii, and we find this question interesting and hope that we can give a clear answer. We have spoken with this circle previously about the calling that you make and how it acts as a beacon for us who watch. And the beautiful array of light, the specific frequencies of intention and open-hearted service allow us to create harmonic vibrations with your groups. This does rely or require different factors. This instrument is we see that the astrological mapping that has been displayed is an ingenious use of the gross data of our many interactions. This is indeed part of the energetic processes that allow for the easy and harmonious blending of our energies and this is also due to the effect these energies have on the instruments. The instruments themselves being influenced by these energies allow a more specific signal at a specific time space. We are also en masse eager to talk through groups like yours, and you could say that there is a queue and we are so exhilarated when we are the ones who harmonize best. As we said, the specifics of the calling the energy of the group and the vibrations of the instrument, as well as the questions that the probability, possibilities could manifest. All of these aspects are factored into the selection of consciousnesses that answer the call. We hope this has covered enough of the complexity to satisfy.
Yes, thank you. I'll allow others to ask questions if they have some. Thank you.
I have one question. King Solomon in the Christian Bible was granted anything that he wished, one thing, and he chose wisdom. Could you tell me, if possible, how he obtained that information, and if not, or in addition to, how is this information valuable to the adept today since we are going into fourth density?
We thank you, my brother. We of Latwii are excited to have such a deep story to delve into. We hope that the small amount we can openly deliver without infringement will suffice to answer your question. The king that you speak of is largely literary as much as he is historic. Do not misunderstand us. The events you describe occurred, but much of his story has been lost to time, and the story you have left is far from complete. The desire of Solomon to have wisdom, to be of better service, we would say is the purest desire one could ask for in his position. The wisdom he was given, however, was distorted in ways he could not comprehend. And the use of his invocations and magical techniques have not been used in the same noble way that his initial request portrayed. Over the time that he has corrected the instrument, that his works have influenced magical practices on Earth, the misunderstandings and distortions that he recorded were further expounded and built up with energetic we should say storage, as we have described before. The repeated use of a ritual gives it a larger reservoir, as it were. It is unfortunate that the distortion scene was given so much energy. We would say that the teachings that remain and that have been somewhat diminished over the intervening time, we would say the best use of those volumes is to analyze the magical process. There is still much information that the seeker could utilize for this purpose without the risk of repeating the mistakes of the past. We would also reiterate that not all of the magicians who utilized these texts did so in a negative orientation. Many have used them for good. We would offer that the seeker should look inside for what they want to achieve and see if the invocations on the page resonate with your own intention. We hope we have given some context and shown you that your discernment and ability for understanding is the best tools for exploring those works. Will there be a further query, my brother?
Thank you for answering that. Could you expand on the positive service to others types of uses that modern day practitioners of magic could utilize the least distorted renditions of the teachings and wisdom of Solomon today?
We can expand in this way. As we have suggested, there is still much powerful information that can be gleaned from analyzing the process and, as with all magical workings, your intention is key. There is lots of good that can be done if the sigils and magical practices are tempered with the correct will and intent. There are also many things that can be gleaned about your inner planes and the angelic structures following these teachings gives access to. We hope this helps expand on your query, my brother.
Yes, thank you very much. I'll let someone else ask a question.
Hi, Latwii. I had a question. So it's said that when we interact with other selves, the other self is actually a reflection of our individual self. However, is this because the other self is literally a part of ourself, or is it more a case that in any given interaction, the self is projecting onto the other self emotions and interactions that originate within the self, doing the projecting? I hope that made sense.
We think we understand your query, my brother, and we thank you for giving us this rich philosophical question to give a more clear explanation. When the self interacts with the other self, the energy exchange and the catalytic reactions expressed in both entities are necessary to the specifics of both entities on their paths. For we are all one. The other self is still the self. Now, when we talk about the mirror and the other selves being a reflection of the self, it is because this is the nature of catalyst. Things that cause emotion response in you, that cause the catalysis of growth, are the very things that you speak of as being mirrored. You should not fall into the trap of thinking that other selves only act to provide the catalyst to you. It is always a two-way interplay. The perfect choreography that the Creator weaves allows for both entities to require the inverse catalyst provided by that mirroring, so that every interaction, every energetic connection and movement is always perfect for all the entities involved. The nature of catalyst is that we pull towards us what the self needs. Both of the self and self require this mirroring. So you both do the service and these interactions are skillfully orchestrated and tied together with such complex perfection that each self gets the tones and vibratory exchanges that allow for growth in this third density. Ballet that we all dance inside. I hope this has helped you to see the unbelievable scope of the creator's artistry and giving you some answer for your question. Would there be anything else we could expand on, my brother?
Yeah, no, that answered my question, but I did have a slight follow-up because, so does that mean then that one individual can be seen differently by two separate individuals? For instance, like two siblings could see a parent differently, like one might see them as a loving parent and another might not?
We thank you, my brother. This is a case of how emotion and connection can influence how you recall and frame specific events or relationships with other selves. The events that you would witness would be identical, but for a plethora of possible reasons or misunderstandings in communication, there is a significant difference between how two people can recall the same situation. And this is heavily understood, we create this instrument. This is heavily dependent on the subjective experience of the individual self. But the stimulus of what you see and hear would be the same. It would be the perception and the remembering that would lead to differences in recollection. Does this help, my brother?
Yes, it does. But I just had one last thought that just popped up in my head. Is there anything specific that would cause the differences in recollection?
There are many differences. There are many causes that would cause that difference. We create this instrument. There are many different factors that may influence the recollection. The way that you remember and form those connections is heavily influenced by many factors. For example, emotional, reactions can form different perceptions on the same memory, especially when a memory is replayed in the mind, and biases and emotional manipulations, you could say, can alter or cause the recollection of an event to be tainted or subjective. We hope we have given more clarity. We apologize. This instrument is suffering from we are those of Latwii. We are here again with you, my brothers and sisters. We apologize for the interruption. Did we complete the explanation satisfactorily, my brother?
Yes, that was great. Thank you. That was all the questions I had. Thank you.
Are there any other queries that we could help you with today? If there are no further queries, we would take this opportunity to tell this circle how thankful we are for your continued service and dedication. Please be reassured in the knowing that we are not far and we share our love light with you all. That this work that you do creates beautiful, energetic symphony that you may not hear, but it reverberates throughout the consciousness of the planet herself. We think that you should all be proud of the service you're providing. As we are proud to provide this service to you.
Thank you, Latwii, for the teach learning experience. I do have one query if no one else does, and you have the energy available for another one.
We are those of Latwii, and we would happily answer another short query at this time.
Thank you. Would you be able to give me a short story or synopsis or maybe an experience that the people of Latwii went through that helped them transitioning from third density to fourth density?
We would love to. We have many stories that we feel could aid you all on the path. But we feel this may be a larger query than the instrument is prepared for. We had a very turbulent journey. This is why we are so eager to be of service to your planet. I will say that the turbulent path is still a perfect path. We apologize, and we will spin a good tale as our next encounter. Until then, we would ask if there is any other instruments who would want to feel our energies or allow us to sing this desired song.
We are those of Latwii, and we are with this instrument. We greet you once more in the love and light of the one infinite creator and express our gratitude for the queries, for we sense the surge of desire to be of service to your collective in the queries made. We would share as this brother has asked, a tale from our time, which is a very long time ago in your terms, of our third density. We wish to share that our planet is much smaller, is much smaller than yours, your Gaia, at this space-time nexus. For that reason, our evolution was accelerated, for we did not have so many of the land masses to feed into the illusion so strongly of separation. Therefore, when issues arise, such as food scarcity, such as differences in ideologies on how a civilization is to prosper, we remained in such close proximity that it was very hard to stay the so-called angry at one another. We could not turn a blind eye from one another, being so close living so closely, for we saw just across the pond, so to speak, that land was dying and our brothers and sisters were doing without. On your planet, it is easier to divest the awareness of the suffering of the other self, for you, for the most part, are only seeing them through a screen. You cannot see them up close, nor touch or feel or smell them. And so the detachment eats away at the sense of urgency to answer the call of those less fortunate. We did not have this luxury, and it worked to our benefit. The societal chaos and difficulties were so close that we could only look each other in the face, and after a very short period realized that we only move forward together, that we are small and we cannot escape each other. You wish to enjoy your abundance on your land, and yet you can see very quickly the community just 50 miles away toiling, and you pass them always. And at some point, the familiarity gets to you, and you are saying, well, I have abundance, let me share it. They are right there. What is the harm? In this way, we were able to accelerate our harmony. But you do not have this. And so we understand it is difficult. But this foundation of our planet, star, in this form now, is how we progressed more quickly than yourselves. If you could take something from our view, our experience in third density, it would be to see one another perhaps as though you were neighbors, as though instead of being a plane or a boat ride away, you were simply across the pond. If you enter this state of mind about all of your brothers and sisters on earth, that sense of connection, that sense of togetherness and longing to bring all pieces within order and into the fold will rise in you with time. Does this satisfy the query?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. We wish to share that our brothers and sisters who operate as the principle known to you as Kuo have been very gleefully with you this session, very happily surrounding and embracing this circle this night. Is there any other way we may be of service before we leave this circle? Then we will leave you for now, where we always find you. In the all-consuming love and eternal light of the one infinite creator, Adonai.